Michigan football. Oh, yeah. Michigan football, the ultimate letdown. Ray, I'm going to give you the mic for 30 seconds to a minute to just go ahead and vent. And then I have 5 very important questions that I need to ask you about this team.
I watched Michigan basketball play Oakland, Dave, and it was amazing. No, let me get into exactly what I think about Michigan football right now. This offense stinks. Sherrone Moore stinks. Everything about everything that he did this summer, it stinks. This Kirk Campbell, he stinks. It's all bad, Dave. I don't have anything nice to say about this offense. You can't get a bye week and then show up and score 7 points with this offense. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to be like, hey, I went with my family down to watch the game at a bar on Saturday night. And let's just say, I mean, state fans were laughing, and I had to sit there and take it because that's where I'm at in life, Dave, is I'm the guy that gets laughed at, and we have to take everything now, and I'm fine with that. But I am just so sick of this offense. I'm so sick of this team.
On that note, Brant, will Michigan, question number one, I got 5 of them for you. We're going to fire away. Will Michigan football win 6 games this year and become bowl eligible?
Yes. They have to find a way to win 6 games, and I think they will. I think they beat Michigan State, and I think they beat Northwestern. I think they still lose to Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State, all losses. There's another game in there, but I don't care.
On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being you ring the panic alarm button, what is your concern level right now with Sherrone Moore?
9.5 out of 10. It is very, very alarming that, Dave, you can't come from being the offensive coordinator and then have a bye week and then score 7 points. It just doesn't work, man. Like, you can't tell me you're an offensive mind and you're averaging as the 120th offense in college football. It doesn't work for me. It's embarrassing.
Is it more of a lack of talent issue on offense, or is it more of a Kirk Campbell issue? Probably a combination of both, but with Kirk's inability to scheme things up and put guys in a position to be successful. What do you think there?
This is more of an indictment on Kirk Campbell than I think it is the players. However, I know it's easy for coaches to be like execution, execution, execution. But some of it is Jack Tuttle being the fumble master, Donovan Edwards all of a sudden deciding to fumble the football a couple times in the last few weeks. I don't understand if the focus isn't there. And Dave, it's because when the team knows I feel like the players know these coaches are frauds, and they know what they had last year, and they came into this year, and they don't think things are right. I think it probably started off when you started Davis Warren out there. And they didn't think that was the right decision from the beginning. Alex Orji doesn't get his time in the beginning of the first 3 weeks. Now he gets it into the next couple of weeks and it doesn't work or whatever. And now Jack Tuttle, 7th-year guy, is our guy. Everybody smells this offense and it doesn't pass the smell test, Dave. It is really bad. The players know that. And so the execution stinks.
Absolutely. We've seen the Davis Warren experiment. Didn't go well. A lot of turnovers. We saw the Alex Orji experiment. Not the same level of turnovers, but an inability to move the football and 100% one-dimensional. We've seen now the Jack Tuttle offense, which showed some promise, showed some hope in the Washington game, and those few scoring drives feel like that was 5 years ago at this point, because it's been bad since. It's been really bad. And you get a bye week, like you mentioned, Brant, and you come out and you put on that offensive performance. And so we have ran through QB 1, 2, and 3 so far without any injuries. And so that begs the question of QB 4. Jadyn Davis, true freshman. Jadyn Davis is either truly not ready from a talent standpoint and know the playbook standpoint, or there is some major validity to a promise that was made to him and his camp to redshirt this year. Of those two things, what concerns you more and why?
The redshirt obviously concerns me the most. I don't know when it becomes a parent's job to walk in and say, this is what's best for my son. I don't want him actually doing anything. And I understand if you're worried about his size and strength at this point, but listen, is he a part of the team or not? Is he a part of the NIL package or not? If he's receiving NIL money, what are we doing? We're just giving money away at this point. What if he transfers? Has anybody asked that question? Like, we don't have contracts with these kids. And Dave, if you are doing backdoor contracts and nobody knows about it, that's also a problem. So it's all bad. Like, you can't tell me that's a good idea either. So it's all got to get figured out. And if Sherrone Moore wants to keep his job, he may have to start Jadyn Davis.
I'm going to stick there for just a second because I do have some thoughts on that. I'm equally concerned, to be honest. I'm very concerned about if this redshirt thing is a thing, which where there's smoke, there's fire. I think that we've heard that from enough inside reporters to believe there was some sort of promise or conversation had that was an agreement where Jadyn Davis wasn't going to have to play this year. He was going to redshirt. I am hugely concerned that if that's the case, and we are sticking to that because of said promise or said conversation, knowing the state of this football team and the lack of really anything at this point. I mean, what do you hang your hat on this season? Because for me, the season's over at this point. At this point, you're playing on upset alert. You're going to try and pull out some miracle against Oregon. Indiana, yeah, that looks like a loss too. Or you try to win that game. They're undefeated right now. By the way, first year head coach in Indiana, undefeated. And then Ohio State. But once you wrap up those 3 games, then what? Let's say you do make a and I'm not overlooking Michigan State either. You absolutely have to win this game. Like, I am not glossing over this at all. At this point right now, I'm picking Michigan State to win this game. This team has shown me absolutely nothing. It sounds like you're not going to have Will Johnson. They need to do something to salvage this season. The only thing for me, outside of some crazy upset against like Ohio State or something, is to know some sense of direction heading into next year. And how are we going to get what that is? Because, Brant, if it's ugly now, it's about to get way worse. Okay. You're going to be losing multiple first-round draft picks that we've been able to do absolutely nothing with. And you're going to be left with the only one in the quarterback room that's probably going to still be on this roster is going to be Jadyn Davis if he doesn't transfer. Okay. You got to look and see what you have, because I don't trust going into spring ball next year. I don't trust that being the right time period for them to evaluate talent, because, Brant, we saw how that went this year. Get that kid into some games right now. And when they say, you don't want to kill a freshman's confidence. Okay. I'd rather know. Maybe that's true. I'd rather know right now what I have or what I don't have. And maybe Jadyn Davis is the guy in the future, a couple years down the road. But I need to know if Jadyn Davis is ready to be the quarterback of this football team next fall. You've got 5 games left on the schedule here. You absolutely have got to at least get him in there, give it a shot, figure it out, and see what you have. Because the first part of my question, Jadyn Davis is truly not ready. Dude, look, this is a 4-star kid. He was a 5-star at one point, and I understand he's a true freshman. But if he can't be better than the product we've seen from Davis Warren, turnover machine, Alex Orji, not a quarterback, and 7th-year Jack Tuttle, who looked awful, I'm concerned at this point. If Jadyn Davis goes out there and throws a couple of picks, okay. I mean, that's where we're at anyway. I would give him a shot, and I am concerned that it's like he's not even a part of the conversation. It's like the coaching staff doesn't even, when Jadyn Davis is brought up, it's like, oh yeah, he's working on things, improving, making some right throws, but learning the playbook. Like, no, dude. At this point, true freshman or not, I need to know whether this kid is the future, because if he is not, and if you are not 110% sold on Jadyn Davis being the quarterback next fall, you have got to hit this transfer portal incredibly hard. You have to get the best available quarterback in the transfer portal, no questions asked, because this team from a talent standpoint is absolutely getting worse next year. So they've got to do something, and it starts right now. Yes, the season is over, but you have a lot to play for in terms of what the rest of Sherrone Moore's time at Michigan is going to look like. And so My last question, Brandon, then we'll just leave this sort of open mic here to wrap up this segment. Is this QB room at Michigan a bottom 5 QB room in all of college football? Lastly, if you were Sherrone Moore, who do you start against MSU Saturday night?
Yeah, Dave. I think it's clearly a top or a bottom five QB room. I would venture to say Iowa's is better with Cade McNamara, and Cade McNamara is awful. Um, but I think I want to make one thing clear, Dave, and you hit on it about Jadyn Davis and his position on this team. If you don't play these last 6 games, I'm going into the portal and I'm finding the top 2, 3 quarterbacks in the market right now, and I'm offering them all. And then you're going to have to compete with those guys with nothing on film against real teams, taking real ammo like live fire at you, and you're going to be in an absolute battle next year when you could take these next 6 games, parents aside, whatever, and try to stake your claim to it. And if you stink, I guess you stink a little bit, but at least you'll have some live reps under your belt. If he wants to take that chance and come into camp next year and try to beat somebody out that's got maybe 2-3 years experience on him, good luck to him. But this is his chance to make his team his team. Dave. There is no way that this team on Saturday can trot Jack Tuttle out there. I don't care what you do not, under any circumstances, trot Jack Tuttle out there to try to get this done. And this is the thing, Dave. If Sherrone Moore loses this game, he's all but fired to me. Like, we're hanging on by a thread already. And you lose to Sparty, you're going to get blown out by Oregon, you're going to get blown out by Indiana, and you're going to get blown out by Ohio State. You need to either start Jadyn Davis against Michigan State and tell them this is it right here, like this is our moment, or you're going to trot Jack Tuttle out there and you're going to lose by 2 or 3 scores.
I completely agree with everything you just said. My concern is that Sherrone Moore has already come out and said that if it were to be today, Jack Tuttle would be the guy still.
Then get out. Then leave.
Yeah, right. I am right there with you. I want to remind everybody that the week before Michigan played Illinois, the Purdue Boilermakers, who are awful, dropped 49 points on the Illinois defense. Your Michigan Wolverines dropped 7.
With a backup quarterback. Hudson Card did not play. He got hurt, whatever.
Michigan fans, I'll leave you with this, and then I want you to like, follow, subscribe to the show, and hop in down the comments. And I hate to be this negative. You should absolutely be concerned right now. This is not we won the Natty last year, so nope, that ship has sailed. Okay, sure, you can sell me on that if you come out the season and you lost to Texas, Oregon, and Ohio State. I'm like, okay, yep, I see where we're at. It's going to take some time. The product that you've seen on this field is absolutely unacceptable. We've got to demand more as Michigan fans, and Sherrone Moore's leash right now is incredibly, incredibly short. Brant, you said it best. You go out and lose this game to Michigan State, that could be a fireable offense. Do I think that will happen? No, I don't, because look at your athletic director, Ward Manuel. That's a mess in of itself. And maybe you give Sherrone a second year here for some continuity. But I'm all but over Sherrone Moore. He will have to win me back to think that he is actually competent enough to run this team and make it his program here. We'll see. Big game against Michigan State this weekend at home in the big house, night game. You got to get it done. No excuses.